So, what is your what is this? Okay, let's start with this. What are your biggest worries that you see on a? Actually, I've never
Existential
heard
humanity
your
base.
small scale worries. What do you worry
You
on
mean for me?
a short term or day to day in your own personal life and the people around you, your country,
So
your
irrational.
community, whatever?
Super irrational, this. What
Super
do I worry
irrational.
about? Yeah, man.
You don't like irrationalities?
No, because no. I mean, it depends on the context. Art is nothing rational. I kind of like music, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just got confused now. But no, like, what kind of things I'm worried about in my daily life. Okay, getting like productivity, getting faster there, getting enough sleep. Should I just drop the fucking school I'm in or this thing I'm in or not, and like do this? Okay, to be fair, I just got worried about. I don't know if I want to talk that much about it because, frankly, I could. But I have not defined yet if it's a good thing to talk about publicly or not. But like I was just talking to this girl earlier, and like at some point like we were doing really great, and at some point I worried because like we did this thing, and I was like, oh shit, like what does she think about me that much? But then I was like to myself, dude, why do you care that much also as well? But yeah, I mean, just I don't know. Like I worry about like if I don't know, my parents are like having a fight or something, and I don't want to dumb shit like with family stuff. Even if I'm really with my brothers and sisters, like the the atmosphere is really great. I don't. I just yeah. I guess I'm probably not. This is not an exhaustive list, but first things that come to my mind.
So you use the word dumb for, let's say, family related worries or personal life related worries.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Why? Why is it dumb to worry about? I mean,
No, it's
you would
not.
assume that as a human, that is
Yeah, yeah, it is.
in a
Like,
normal, like for most of history, that would be basically the only thing that you would have to worry about, other than your
yeah,
country
yeah, yeah.
falling into war.
Yeah, I mean, because these are like you want to have good relationships with your family because, yeah, like I guess you know, it probably helps you get more protection. I guess evolutionarily speaking, so it's probably like tied up into our genes, and it probably helps you, you know, pass your genes better because you have more support around you or something. Harvard has done this study, if I'm not wrong, that is one of their longest studies to date, and it's still going on. And it was looking at the biggest factors for happiness and life satisfaction. Again, if I'm not exactly sure about the precision of these words, but yeah, and yeah, their conclusion was that the main factor that correlated the best, and maybe there were some causation links for it, I don't know, but that correlated best with like someone being satisfied in their life or happy in their lives was deep relationships. So that's probably something you want to have.
Mm-hmm.
I did actually this thing 8 months ago. That was, I mean, no, not 8 months, more than like 14 months. I mean, something like that. When the pandemic started. So we're to the people listening to this in the future, if you are, we are in 2021, and the pandemic is still going on. And about like we are in April.
Yes,
Okay.
at the end of April.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So soon the birthday of my little brother that's gonna be 11. Um, I mean, yeah, we just mentioned it actually earlier. Anyways, yeah. So last March, not like March of 2020, I went from Barcelona to France on a call because I mean, just in taking the plane flight from the one day to the next, because it was cheap, no one was flying, and because it was probably a great move to do, and I really do not regret it. To be able to be confined in my home in France with my family and a
oh
garden
yeah,
and
instead of a room in Barcelona, I
yeah,
would have
yeah,
fucking died if I stayed in this.
yeah, same.
Cities are not made to be lived in when you're not allowed to leave the
Yeah,
house.
yeah. I mean, it's a very small city. In China, it would be called definitely a town.
Of course.
For Chinese people, probably Barcelona is a tiny city.
Yeah, but European standards, let's say.
I'm super lucky because I live. Do I want to say this? I don't know. Okay, by default, I won't say it. But I live in a cool place, it's a pretty
small
place.
town somewhere in France, basically. Is that
Exactly.
yeah?
And it's like there's a lot of like greens going around. The air is quite good, and so yeah, that's nice.
It's really funny because as you don't even want to mention your town, right? Like my camera is filming the entirety of my background, so if someone has never been to Barcelona, they can probably triangulate where I am.
Yeah, I mean that's probably fine though because this university, it's not your home place. And then I'm like, and I started at this moment when I got in France. I basically started this 8 months brainstorming onto what I wanted to do with my life, and big thing, and big mind map, and I ended up listing all of the problems in the world, the major problems. I wanted to list the major problems. I was like, there's going to be like 7, 8, or 11. There were actually like 129, something like that. And so then the question.
These were like concerns.
No. These were. I mean, you could say that there were. The question was, like, what do I want to do? And then I told myself, look, if I can make a list of all of the problems in the world that we're facing, the most important ones, and then I could find ways to compress as much as possible, to compress solutions to solve these problems. So basically to have a few solutions that would solve a lot of these problems at once, or at least solve them 80%. If you're like familiar with the Pareto rule, a lot of the things that happen in the world are like, you know what I mean? And like 80-20 rule. And so, like if I could find that and execute it, that would be like, I would probably be quite satisfied with my plan. And the goal then was to like compress the solutions as much as possible, but then stop compressing when you think that the time scale is small enough that it would probably be a better thing to start working on it rather than find like other ways to compress it even more. So
basically take a massive plan and then work up from first principles what the fundamentals of this are, and then pick the smallest part and start it there.
I mean, kind of. Like you basically list your solutions. All solutions must be doable, obviously. And then what you do is that you just find a way. You just create a plan that you can start something at your scale or where you're at, or that can, in my case, that can start very small. That can potentially scale a lot. And then from this point on, you just build a plan, and where, the top of the mountain, the top of the plan is like how. Solving everything, and all of the steps to get there are like, when you look at every step, you're like, that's doable. Like, you can do this. So and my conclusions for the goal of my life were priority number 1 being large scale positive impact, and then scale that large scale positive impact. What I call large scale positive impact is I actually like have this moral compass that's very, very defined. We can talk about that later, but it's roughly utilitarianism if you people know about it. If you don't know about it, utilitarianism has a very, very bad name in terms of marketing, I think.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it sounds like some dystopian, 1984 Brave New World kind of shit.
The sad thing though is just about like maximizing good, in the sense that you just want to do as much good as you can. Like someone that works with value, for example, will say like, oh, I want to be a doctor because look, if I can help one life, and it's beautiful, it's like poetic, and you're like, oh, that's cool, that's, I was gonna say that's cute, but like thank you for doing this. But if I can help one life, it will have been worth it. And like someone that works more in a utilitarianism perspective is like, that's cool, but if you can help 1 million lives, that's 1 million times better. Basically.
Okay. But
would
you want to live your personal life with the same philosophy? Because Obviously, if you're trying to solve problems,
Yeah.
this is actually my next argument. Maybe I shouldn't move to it so fast, but I will. If you're trying to solve big problems, then obviously you want the time and the resources that you're spending on it to go as far as they possibly can, basically. So you would rather help 1 million people or 1 billion people than 10 people, or but unless the impact is so big that this, if you spread it around across 1 million, it wouldn't have as much impact. But if it might change 10 people's life as much as you would be able to change 1 million people's lives.
Yeah. Like it's yeah. There, I have a formula actually. I have a math formula for myself for that. But yeah, like you calculate basically the amount of good you do per being, per individual being. Even if individual is actually a weird concept that actually does not work. I mean, yeah, but I mean, does not. It has its limits, but yeah. I mean, yeah. We got it. We got it. Like a number of individuals times the amount of impact per individual, basically.